almost 3,000 kids. That means 3,000 families.
Wow.
That means 9,000 beneficiaries have, stayed with us in past 11 years.
And from there, we realized that we need a caretaker. We need to ensure that they have the grocery. 2 days later, we realized they need to have transportation because they were getting cheated unfortunately, by some cabbies.
Every once in a while at Radio 1, we pause. We try and figure out, are we making a difference, a marked difference to society? Because as a radio station, what else can you do but deep dive into advocacy and put things out there which are there for the common good and for the good of society? We came upon the Access Life Assistance Foundation and found that the work that they're doing is very, very pure and filling a vacuum, a lacuna that's very needed in cancer care today. Their byline is a home away from home, the Access Life Assistance Foundation. In a very short period of time, when I say short period, 11 years is not very long, considering there are players who've been around for 30 or 40 years. They have dedicated their lives to prevent the abandonment of cancer treatment for children by providing continuous care, emotional support, and a stable living environment for them and their caregivers. And as a result of finding out about them and doing our due diligence and research with them, we've now partnered this entire September, and we're doing the Happiness Drive with Access Life, which is a home away from home for children battling cancer and their parents, offering care, comfort, and hope. All you have to do is WhatsApp us or text us at 9833 943 943. 9833 943 943. We'll share the list of what's needed. Could be a small donation, a storybook, a coloring kit, a puzzle, or a toy, and can bring back the joy and learning that a child deserves while they fight for cancer. And their childhood is still theirs to cherish. And that's as good as an intro that I can give. I please welcome Girish Nair, founder and chairman. Hi Girish, wonderful to see you. How are you?
I'm good, Hrishi, and it's a dream come true for me to actually sit next to you. Thank you so much for having me.
That's very kind of you. I love, for those of you listening in pure audio, if you're driving, please, only pure audio. Don't switch to video. We want you safe. He's wearing very cool orange-colored frames, which I quite fancy. Along with him, Ankeet Dave, who's co-founder and executive director. Hi Ankeet, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having us over, and thank you for this association. I think this is really what we needed this month.
Now, I want to go back to the beginning because I want to find out motive and purity of motive and purity of purpose. And we know that there is that as far as the Access Life Assistance Foundation is concerned. Girish, you're still in finance in a lot of ways. And Ankeet, you've been a communications luminary. Both of you with over a decade and a half of experience. Maybe you can start, Girish, and then Ankeet can also join in and take over. When did you first meet? And most importantly, after meeting, when did you first decide that you want to collaborate with each other to do something like what you're doing, which is actually go and register a not-for-profit and actually go about building the Access Life Assistance Foundation?
So, Ankit and me, we met at a PR firm. I used to be in aviation, and PR was my first stint. And I used to see Ankit roaming around with a DSLR, and I was quite fascinated. And I thought, this guy is like a ace photographer. I need to kind of, and I was just kind of getting into the whole photography thing. And I told Ankit, what, I want to buy a DSLR. Can you help me with the whole, operation of how to go about it? He said, yeah, sure. You just get your camera and I'll take care of it. I got the camera and I told Ankit, when do we start? He said, we go for a shoot tomorrow. And the next day, woke up early. All we did was breakfast. We shot a crow and we came back.
A solitary crow.
And I knew okay, this guy is fun. Maybe photography won't work, but we're definitely going to have fun.
I'm sure you have your own version of the story, Ankeet.
Yeah. No, I think I think we got some squirrels also.
See, I told you, when old friends meet, there's always a difference of opinion in the first time they met.
Yeah, but like you said, this thing came from the whatever work we were doing, and being in communication, we had this opportunity to work with certain NGOs and hospitals who would work with our brands. And just like how we've come here, this was one of the associations which we were just following, and we ended up taking those DSLR and going to these NGOs and hospitals, trying to help them in the way we thought we could. Idea was simple that see, we were salaried, so we couldn't go with fat checks or anything, but we said, okay, we'll support you in a way we know, knowledge we have, probably help you with pictures or anything like that. But story only begins, right? There's never an ending. I think more frequent visits to these places got us to realize that cancer is, not restricted to adults. Kids also get it, which even being in the city like Mumbai, we were not aware, honestly. We always thought that cancer has to be related with something people doing wrong. But again, as you are young and then you start growing older, you realize there are so many things which you are not aware of, especially which if you've not been through it. So I think that is where we got connected, and we realized that was our first connection with the cancer, and I think rest is history.
This is something I'm very open about, and I told you fine gentlemen off the mic, both Ankeet and Girish, my father is a cancer survivor, and it just shocked me when we first heard of the diagnosis that he had esophageal cancer, because I said, there's a man who doesn't smoke, who doesn't drink, who has never touched even egg, forget about non-vegetarian food, all his life, played tennis 5 days a week, and at age 75, somebody told him, after 75 you start losing muscle. So he was doing 5 days of tennis, 1 day of lifting weights in the gym, and then this diagnosis comes across, and you ask yourself, why him? And then the other end of the spectrum, there are children. What wrong or what habit could a child have cultivated to get cancer? So I think there really aren't any answers to this, is there, Girish? So I think the only thing we can do is get down to what we can do.
Absolutely.
Is act and provide nourishment, provide care to children. So talk about that. Talk about how you were moved by this and how you decided to act.
So we happened to go to one of the hospitals in Mumbai, and we saw this children, small children being treated for chemotherapy, and we were really moved. We honestly did not expect to see children that small, being treated for chemotherapy. And as is the state with certain hospitals, they in Mumbai, most of the hospitals are running sort of maximum to their capacity. They are trying to take care of all the patients, children that are coming to them, and we thought, what is it that we can do to sort of help them? So the first thought that came to our head was, maybe we can probably donate some chemo stands, give them some beds. That is when we started speaking to the doctors and the medical social workers. And one of them literally took us outside the hospital, and they said, you see all these people here, these are all patients. They are all on the streets because they don't have a place to stay. And what happens is, when they are on the street, it leads to secondary infection, abandonment of treatment, and the resources that the hospital is spending on this families, it's getting wasted if they don't complete the treatment. So if there is anything that you can really do, is provide them a shelter. And that is where the spark of even starting the shelter came for us. We decided, okay, let's do that. Let's at least try and get one house for them, and let the family stay and go back. Even if we can help one family complete the treatment, we thought we will make a small difference. So the seed for the idea came from there.
And Ankeet, really, that was the most important decision to make. What is it that we want to do in the sphere of cancer care? Are we going to go out and ask corporates to give donations? Are we going to give grants to people? And there is a lacuna in this space.
Yeah.
Like he said, I've seen it with my own eyes. Children, parents on footpaths, sleeping on dividers. And you did realize, after speaking to a lot of medical practitioners, that this is the sphere that you want to get into. So then, what do? You start dealing with one of the most difficult sectors, not only in India, but the planet, which is the real estate sector. And I imagine 11 years down the line, you have 11 centers. That's pretty good. You're going at the rate of 1 center a year. If you had gone at express rate, I would have said you've done a franchising model. You haven't. You're really taking care and pains. 1 center a year, but it still doesn't get easy, does it? As far as the challenges are concerned for renting accommodation for cancer parents' families.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I was telling you, we faced that issue almost 12, 13 years ago when we thought, probably let's just take a house and give it to these families so then they can just stay. Today, 2025, even when our team, we have a team now who goes out to house hunt and look for places, it's still not easy. People don't come out easily, giving out places to NGOs, and especially when you tell them that this is for these people who are fighting cancer. There have been a lot of awareness about COVID and so many other diseases. You will be surprised to know people are scared of cancer. We've had these neighbors and people come to us who are working in a great companies saying, oh, you know what, I can't give you this house. What if my kid catches cancer from one of your...
Ladies and gentlemen, please, you can catch the common cold and cough. But
no, only thing you catch from these kids is love and affection. And
but you can never catch cancer like that. That's not how it's transmitted. Continue.
Absolutely. So, we realize, when you are like really young, 13 years minus, we were younger, we would get angry. But then luckily I get angry and he calms me down, and, he would say that, we cannot fight everything. We have to keep looking out. So I think that is what we continued. And what we realized is when you thought of something nice, good people, just come forward. And that's how I think we've attracted most of our landlords who are our friends, who are our volunteers, and we are just blessed to have them. And then they are now standing with us, ready to vouch whenever we want a new place. They'll say, okay, if somebody gives you a tough time, just tell them to call me and I'll vouch for you guys. So now that is what is helping us find new places.
The Access Life Assistance Foundation is now available in multiple cities, currently operational in Mumbai, 4 centers, 1 in Pune, Manipal, 1 Chandigarh, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Coimbatore and Madurai, 1 each. Now let's look at sub-verticals. One is getting the real estate, renting the accommodation. I imagine these are underprivileged children and their caregivers, so the accommodation is free. Do you also take care of the hygiene of and the safety of the living space? What about meals? What about counseling services? What about care not only for the children but the parents too? They always say that if you are in cancer care, even as a relative or a supporter, you need counseling too.
Absolutely.
So talk me through all your sub-verticals.
Hrishi, I'm going to start with the first center. When we started, there was this incident. We find it funny now, but we were actually scared on the day one. We had the first set of families come into our center. There were 4 families. We set up the entire center. The kitchen was set, the gas, utensils, everything. And we thought it's just going to be easy. The families are going to come in and, they're going to use the space and they're going to move out. We did a small opening, puja, ceremony and all that, and we were just about to leave. One of the father, he comes up to us and he says, can you tell me where the nearest farm is? I'm like, farm? Well, you want grocery, we'll get it for you. Well, no, I want to relieve myself. He had no concept of washroom. He never used a washroom in his own life. So here me and Ankeet, we are scratching our heads like, now how do we explain something like that to a person? We were not ready for that. So we literally, and fortunately for us, there was YouTube. We kind of searched a video. We showed him a demonstration because we also to highlight, we had all those Western style commodes at the place, So we had to show a demonstration, and that's how we got the place going. And we realized this place cannot run without a caretaker. So we were deciding, was it going to be me or was it going to be Ankit who's going to stay back, because we realized, how are they going to operate the cooking gas? There are so many things. The geyser.
There could be anything inflammable.
True.
Yeah.
And things could go down south. Yeah.
Right. So we, fortunately, probably for all the good karma we have done in this life or the previous, we found a caretaker on the same day itself, and we were able to go home. Her name is Jenny. She's still a darling. I mean, she's retired, but she's a darling. She said, "Aap log ghar jao. This is my house from today onwards." And
This is the first center at Mumbai. Yeah.
this is the first center.
Big ups to Jenny. Jenny, I hope you're listening.
Yeah. And from there we realized that we need a caretaker. We need to ensure that they have the grocery. 2 days later we realized they need to have transportation, because they were getting cheated by unfortunately by some cabbies who would charge them double. They ran out of money. So we started doing Ola and Uber share for them initially, but we realized we needed transportation service for them. Later we realized over the years we need counseling for the families, we need teaching for the children, because we can't have them lose out of education, because 6 months with the treatment, it's bound that they completely lose out on the education aspect. So all these services over a period of time, we have just kind of added upon one after the other.
That's incredible. And now, would you have a count of how many beneficiaries there have been, Ankit?
Yeah.
In terms of children, in terms of caregivers, and what is the average capacity that each house can house?
So we feel proud every time we get asked about this thing. We almost 3,000 kids. That means 3,000 families.
Wow.
That means 9,000 beneficiaries have stayed with us in past 11 years, and they've just gone back, finished treatment. I just want to highlight this one more thing. Even admission and discharge is not in our hands. So we don't decide which child or family stays with us. We've left it on the doctors and medical social workers. So whenever there is a need, they will reach out to us. They will do entire verification of the family, and they just call us saying, okay, I have this family who's in need of the shelter, and they are housed there. Because they do lot of other paper work and everything, so it is much more easier for them. Same for the discharge. When doctor feels that okay, now child is probably can go on maintenance, they are asked to go back home. So that is how
That's wonderful. So it's still medical professionals
yes,
who are taking the call as to who deserves this and who doesn't.
correct. And we don't have any limit on how much they can stay, because it's so unpredictable with all the kids. It one treatment cannot be same for everyone. So some child might take 6 months, somebody might take 12 months, we have had a kid who stayed for 1.5 years too. So we don't have cap on that. Idea is for that family to feel safe, family to feel that okay, while they are battling their biggest battles in their life, house is there with them, and they don't have to worry about anything.
So I believe the new center in Madurai has a capacity to accommodate 16 children
Yes.
along with their caregivers. Is that right? Yeah.
So across India, we have 187 family rooms, is what they say. And what happens is with every house we get, we don't have a fixed this thing. Okay, this is how we're gonna open up, and we want minimum of so and so numbers. It all depends on the house we get, and we just do the interiors. But we try to accommodate average of 15 families in a house. So that is how the numbers come in.
This September, Radio 1 is running the Happiness Drive with Access Live Assistance Foundation, a home away from home for children battling cancer and their parents, offering care, comfort, and hope. You can make a difference. A small donation, a storybook, a coloring kit, a puzzle, or a toy can bring back the joy and learning they deserve. Text us or WhatsApp us at 9833943943. Easy to remember, our frequency is 94.3 Radio 1, so the last 6 digits are just 943943. 9833943943, and we will share the list of what's needed. Let's stand together for these children, remind them while they fight cancer that their childhood is still theirs to cherish. Yeah, so I want to know about the good people, the corporates, the foundations who have been very encouraging of you, whose contributions have been pivotal to your journey. And Girish, maybe you'd like to take that.
So we have been very fortunate in terms of some of the foundations that have supported us. Harish and Beena Shah Foundation is one of them. They have been a great supporter for us. In fact, the Chandigarh Center, the Madurai Center, which came up now, there is one coming up in Assam now. It's all being supported by them. We have the Azim Premji Foundation, which is also supporting us. We have corporates like L&T, LTI Mindtree, Kotak Securities, Credila Services,
Rotary Club,
Queen's Necklace. I mean, there are so many. I probably must have missed out few names.
we have missed out. No, I don't think so. We have, but then I would also want
I actually have a list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what my job is, to fill in the gaps.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's United Way of Mumbai
Yeah.
and Hyderabad,
Yeah.
Tata Investments,
Yes.
Safari Industries, Rotary Club Mumbai Queen's Necklace, Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers, Polycab Social Welfare Foundation, LTI Mindtree Foundation, Larsen & Toubro, Indiana Gratings, Kodak Securities, Harsh and Beena Shah, they talked about, Comtel Foundation,
Yeah.
Credila, they spoke about, and of course the Azim Premji Foundation. You were saying, Ankeet?
Yeah, and I wanted to add, it is also to do with a lot of individuals who are there. We have these groups who have been supporting us, like Team Spreading Smile. They are these group of women who've just come together and they come and do support us. I mean, not just volunteering but also finance. So there are the multiple of these small groups also come in. There are a lot of these colleges, school kids who encourage. I mean, I think our list is going to have your name also, because you guys are one of the media houses who have come forward to support this cause. Because September being International Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, people have to know about the cause. People have to really understand what it is all about. Once they know it, I'm sure people will come forward.
Of course they will. Girish, in that aspect, you must have a wish list. What are the next few cities you're covering? What kind of centers and numbers are we looking at?
So after we are doing Assam right now. In post Assam, we are looking at Noida. There is Pondicherry, Thiruvananthapuram, Raipur. These are all the places that we have identified. But basically what we are trying to do, and the main issue what happens, Hrishi, is that most of these children who are affected with cancer, by default they sort of come to bigger cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and it's not like there aren't other hospitals out there in the other cities. It's just that the kind of support mechanism that we have here in Mumbai, that might not be present there, and that is the reason we want to reach out to all these places, so people don't really have to migrate to further cities like the metro cities here, and increase the load on the hospital. So we are trying as much as possible to reach to those cities, so the families kind of can stay within the region that they are. There is a lot more it's a lot more comfortable for them, familiarity, and that's exactly what we have been trying. Our aim is that in the next 5 years we reach from 187 and cross at least 300 units, so we have as many children covered as possible.
Lovely. And for all of you who are interested in this, you must understand they have CSR 1 registration for corporate contribution. They have FCRA approval for accepting international donations. So please go ahead, donate very, very generously. Underprivileged children, their caregivers are getting free accommodation, hygienic, safe living space, nutritious meals, counseling services, and of course recreational and informal educational support. Lots of great stuff happening here courtesy the Access Life Assistance Foundation. So yeah, Sam, and I think a nice way to round this interview off would be with more real life cases. You talked about this exceptional case of somebody from rural India not even knowing how to use a conventional urban toilet and asking for a farm. If you could talk about some cases of children and their families who have been impacted by the excellent work you're doing at Access Life Assistance Foundation, it would be lovely.
I mean, we have so many of these stories which, when somebody asks us what is it that, makes us do what we are doing, and what is that encouragement every time. I think it is about seeing the child leave, finishing the treatment on time and leaving back home. I think that's the most happiest feeling we get every time we get asked. And you can imagine 11 years, the child who had come to us who was 10-year-old, today he's 21, pursuing engineering. Today there's this child, who was 8, and then today she's studying for something much better. Lot of kids, in fact, when you come to center and talk to kids, their dream is to become doctors. I mean, I think that is what they look forward to. Every time you ask them कि क्या बनना है आपको बड़ा होके, they'll only say that doctor बनना है, हमको भी treat करना है.
Because you've seen the power the doctors have. That's
absolutely, absolutely. All thanks to the medical team, the MSWs, fellow NGOs. I think we have a great army which is there to fight cancer. But it is not enough. We need more people to come forward. We need more people to support. Not a fun fact. We don't belong technically from our background is not from social sector. I think we just had hearts, and we had lot of our friends saying, "Arey, you don't have experience. NGO चालू करना आसान नहीं है." He hates it every time I mention. He sold his house. He had invested in a house in Pune, but we needed a corpus because obviously to rent out a place, we have to have a security and all of it. He took that jump and he said, okay, let's secure for at least 1 or 2 years, because if anything goes wrong, we'll have our homes to go back. But if people we are sheltering and they don't have a roof overnight for some reason, we can't have that stage. And that worked out because he's from finance, so he knew how to do that. So that worked out really well.
Lovely. You want to add to that any real life testimonials, real life cases, scenarios that you like to talk about?
Honestly, I just want to add this point that the happiness drive, which is being done by Radio 1, it's such a multiplier effect. So, between me and Ankit, we have been discussing, I'm the finance guy and he's the guy who's been handling all the PR, marketing, networking. I mean, he's really absolutely great at that. He's the most busiest person around September, lighting up all the monuments across India. He's handling with the team. I just go and stand there. That's all I do. But he's been doing that. And I think this collaboration, what we are doing right now, the multiplier effect of that is immense. I mean, it's probably the best that we have done in all these years. Thank you so much for sort of looping us in and collaborating with us on this one. The awareness that we are going to hit with this, it's going to be amazing.
They say Access Life supporting cancer brave hearts. How lovely is that? A home away from home. If you want to visit any of their sites, any of their handles, it's very easy. It's Access Life India, ACCESS Life India. You could also hashtag Access Life and hashtag Cancer Care. Find them on X, find them on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as Instagram. And what we're also going to try and do is when we put out a social media post, we're also going to put a link that you can actually go to. You can make a donation, you can access the Mumbai centers, the centers in other cities, and all that is possible. They have a link tree where all their individual websites and handles are put out. We'll also try and put that on the social media post. Guys, it's been very, very special, this chat. I hope lots of people have heard it and will act now. Girish Nair, founder and chairman, Ankeet Dave, co-founder and executive director at Access Life Assistance Foundation. Thank you for rolling by.
Thank you. Can I just add one more thing? People who are listening and people who are going to be viewing your vlog and all of that, I have just one request. Don't get stuck if you think you're a student or you don't have money or you cannot be the person who can go and actually give something. What you can do sitting, watching, listening is sharing this thing, because once you share, spread the word, I think that is the biggest power someone can, I mean, it's there in their hands, right? So they can just do it easily.
Well done. Yes, well said. It's a nice way to round up. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.